Is there anything that you
want me to
you want to talk about, but you rarely get asked about?
No. I think everyone does a very good research. I think even yours, like questions, has already gone through quite a very thorough research.
Right.
So you guys ask like different questions lah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
I will happily go down the path where you've never been asked before. You know.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see.
All right. Hey everyone, before we begin this next episode of the Hello Mentor podcast, I just want to say if you're job searching or hiring, check out hiredly.com. We are not just another job platform. We make it easier to find the jobs that people actually want, and we help companies stand out to hire the right talent. So there's a lot of smart tech and there's a lot of human touch. That's Hiredly. So you can head to hiredly.com and give it a go. Hey everyone, it's another episode of the Hello Mentor podcast, and we have Jing with us today from BilaBila Mart.
Hi.
Hello Jing. Hi, welcome. For those of our audience who maybe not so familiar with you, how would you introduce what you are doing?
Okay. Hi, I'm Jing. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BilaBila Mart. So BilaBila Mart is the fastest growing convenience grocer in Malaysia. I would say that. We just crossed like 100 outlets last year. We opened, in fact, 2 days before MCO in year 2020. So it has been 6 years running. We are now almost touching about 130 stores. Right. So a lot of people will be like, what is convenience grocer? I think, okay, the easier way for Malaysian to understand, imagine it like a kedai runcit modern. So you go to a convenience store, but at the same time, you find groceries. Hence, we call ourselves convenience grocer. Yeah, so we sell more SKUs compared to the other convenience store, but much lesser than a typical groceries. Yeah.
Right. And out of curiosity, like why do you I suppose it's a space issue, right, for a lot of the typical normal conveniences. That's why they don't have groceries. Or you think there are other reasons?
I think everybody just didn't really think out of the box.
Oh, is it? Right.
And or rather, okay, probably I would just say that we look at the complexities of handling fresh items. But of course, other than that, there were also other operational issues as well. For you to sell fresh, okay, so when we first started, we had a lot of issue with finding the right suppliers, right? Because our volume was very small, right? So, and each stores are different sizes, different type of traffic, different type of customers. So not all stores are able to sell fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, or carry like the minimum quantity. So the suppliers were like, it took us quite some time to finally decided that we may need to take back certain logistics operations so that we don't need to worry about the minimum order quantity, right? So what happened is we source our vegetable directly from farmers in Cameron Highlands, and then they will send to our cross-dock warehouse. So by saying cross-dock means the stocks get sent this evening, it will get sent out tomorrow morning. It is as quick as that. We don't store any stocks. So the vegetables and the stocks that you get is actually on daily replenishment for certain fast-moving stores. Right. So go back to your question, like why, the concept is not wide. It's because the complexities of it is first. Secondly is because convenience stores often need to run on higher margins, right? And vegetables and fruits are the one that it's very competitive, and you also need to bear wastages. So by having that in the store, it will actually pull down the entire P&L. So honestly speaking, we're running on very thin margins, but we still believe that the concept works because that's the main thing that differentiates us compared to the other competitors.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So people will be thinking I was swimming in cash, but actually not, because we are carrying a lot of low margin items.
Right. Would you say in some sense you're not really optimizing for just the profit, but also the experience of the customer that go into the store?
Yes, because that's very important. I mean, right, if we are short term, right? We are short-sighted. We'll really look at, oh, I go to this store, I sell things at high price because of a good location. But I think at this day and age, you already need to start looking at your relevancy of your brand, not now, but probably 10 years later.
Right.
Right? So actually we see competitors not spending a lot of effort on marketing, or rather just let the business run naturally by itself. But to me, it's like, no, I need to make sure that when the Gen Alpha comes and they have spending power, they will choose me first. Yeah. So hence, we are spending a lot more effort on like branding marketing, even though some of my partners don't understand why we're spending that amount of effort and money.
Right.
But to me, I need to start thinking how it will look like later.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And actually, it's interesting that we were just chatting off camera just now. Yeah, I said that. I also shop in BilaBila Mart, and actually for some time I never noticed that there is groceries inside. As in, like, I buy groceries there, but it never crossed my mind that a typical convenience store doesn't have groceries. You know?
Yep.
And me personally, I actually find it very convenient. I do like one big round of grocery shopping like once a week, but every time if I'm missing something, I always know that there's a BilaBila Mart there.
Correct.
I just walk down, and it's pretty easy, right?
Yeah. So that's the gap that we're trying to fill in, right? Because I also personally go do my grocery run somewhere else because BilaBila doesn't have everything. But say like, oh, I need bananas like now, or probably after gym or after workout, I probably just need like a protein fuel. And it is after 10, right? Usually. So I know I need to run to BilaBila and get something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's non-biased, but I picture myself as a consumer and how much convenience I'll get. Like, it's the same shopping experience like we used to have when there is a kedai renci across our store. It's never a planned shopping experience, but it's almost most of the time emergency. Like, for me, I will always remember that my mom will ask me to go buy potatoes from this uncle across the street. And I personally, as a child, I love that grocery run. It gave me a chance to go out, right? And, jalan and come back.
Right.
So I think BilaBila ultimately fit in that gap.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious, like, I suppose you've been asked this many times before, but why would you start a business like this? And I'm kind of framing it from the point of view of, feels like very crowded, like you're competing with a lot of convenience stores who already have a lot of chains everywhere. Once you have this network, right, then it's like you have a lot of advantages, but we start from zero going in. Wow, if I'm just thinking from my lens, like, wow, very challenging business to try to compete.
Okay, let's just look at that. Firstly, if it's very crowded, it is still less crowded versus Thailand, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, right? Even if you say your building itself, if given the other countries that I mentioned above, there would definitely be a convenience store right down there. But there's none, right? So there is a study that looked at how many convenience stores service the population. So like for Malaysia, it's like one convenience store still service about 4,000 people. One convenience store in Japan, Korea will, on an average basis, serve about about 4,000 population. So that's the number, right? And in Malaysia, one convenience store still serves probably about 15K. So the disparity is still there. So as much as people thought that, okay, it's quite crowded, visually, probably in urban area, yes, but we still comparative to like our neighbors is still not very close.
Right.
Yeah. And then I think also for me, when we first started, we were like, so what's so exciting about the other convenience store in Malaysia? Honestly speaking, everybody sells the same thing. The only difference is who's at the location and who opens later. And probably I would choose the one that is maybe slightly more pleasant looking versus the other competitors. But it's just like that. Everybody sells the same thing. So it's nothing interesting. So when BilaBila came in, we were already, hence the name is a very Malaysian name. We want to make it very Malaysian. Hence we also stock, a lot more local Malaysian brands. When I say local, these are the small ones, right? Mummy Farm Fresh are also local, right? But they're bigger. Yeah. So that's the differentiation that we want to draw.
Right. And I think I read somewhere like, is it 60% of the things that you sell are local?
Yeah, but if you look at the grocery store that you go to, or even a convenience store that you go to, we have now a lot more sales contribution from local brands. Because our local brands are really doing quite amazing. Mummy, right? Farm Fresh, these are the bigger one. And Oriental Food, now you have a lot more. You have Zeus Coffee coming in to fight with the big brands in canned coffee, which is great because they had, that Nescafe had a good run for so long and nobody actually goes heads on. And then you have Malaysian local brands that I'm coming into a space. So that's why you see like the contribution is actually getting bigger and bigger if you consider also the bigger brands. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds exciting that you're supporting local business.
Of course, Malaysian. Okay, personally, I love my country a lot, right? Given that the opportunity to travel out of Malaysia, you'll know that at the end of the day, Malaysia still has the best culture, still has the best food, yeah? And I think in terms of humanity and people being a real human being, I think Malaysia has better empathy, much apologetic in terms of culture. So, yeah.
Right.
That's why I'm all for, supporting local.
Right.
Yeah, we are always undermining ourselves, honestly speaking. But really, food across the world, nobody can fight. Malaysia is still the best. Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I lived abroad for a while. I do feel that we do undersell ourselves quite a little bit.
Yeah, we do. Like, even if you look at the adoption of QR payment or cashless payment, right? Because in BilaBila itself, 70% are actually cashless, 30% are still cash. So if you were to travel, say, Japan, still so many transactions are done in cash. But Malaysia is, even you go to Bazaar Ramadan, it's already in touch and go in QR. So we not only are underselling ourselves in terms of the mix that we have, but also the technology and the advancement that the government is already, trying to improve here. Yeah, I think we deserve a lot more accolades and, acknowledgement.
Right. I've one quick question about BilaBila Mart.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn about your childhood, by the way, because I always find a lot of entrepreneurs have very interesting childhoods. So it's like something about the way they grow up that you somehow leads them to run the company. But anyway, but to just a quick one on BilaBila Mart. So you mentioned earlier that because every store is different, the space is different, and in some sense, what you sell at every store is also different. So and then it sounds to me like a lot of personalization going on at the store level. So how do you scale something that requires so much of this personalization?
Okay, honestly speaking, at the beginning, we never really think of how to make it simple, right? So every store that we open, we curate it. So I will have my team of buyers that will choose what item goes in and what item don't, right? Even if you say that, when we were doing that, the maximum of number of stores that we're opening was probably about 4 per month. It is still very slow compared to the giants. So now, yes, we want to speed up. Our opening rate is probably about 6 to 8 stores. So then the question is, then how do you ensure that it's still personalized? So we have already started clustering and grouping our stores. So say area like Montclair, the consumer base will be very similar to probably Tropicana, right? So we cluster it together. So what type of items goes in, it will be quite similar. But say if Montclair and Setia Wangsa is a different cluster altogether because of the demographics mainly, and also because of the economic status mainly. So you have different type of goods. We still personalize in that way, but we have enough sample of outlets to be able to cluster now.
Right.
Last time we couldn't. We will just go one by one. Like, okay, Montclair, we need to do this, right? PJ, okay, PJ is still same. Montclair in like Wangsa Maju is different. Yeah, you still need to curate.
Right. And then the curation is done by like
the curation.
People, is it?
Okay, at first I have the luxury of time to go through the listing. But now I just have to and trust my team to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, I suppose now it's a lot more organized. I'm not sure the word is organized, but
Yeah.
when it was highly curated, wouldn't again, I'm not a retail person, the delivery of the goods be
Yeah,
kinda-
it's okay. I'm just gonna be very honest. It's horrible.
Right.
Like every store will carry different thing. Then you have staff and managers will be like, "Hey, how come this item is not available in my store?" Right? I also want to list this in. Yes, definitely, because you will have people that comes and go, right? Ultimately, the buying team, the category team, are the one that select the items. But if we change manpower along the way, then of course there will be some, loss in translation, missing items that probably this manager prefer and the other manager didn't prefer, and that didn't get listed in. Yes, there's often this type of issue.
Right, right. So that you have to handle this kind of little things.
So now we're going through revamp to some of the stores, like those that still carry old branding mainly, and those that we have opened for maybe more than 3 to 4 years. They will go back and revamp not only the interior, change fresh paint, fresh layer of paint, or we'll have to revamp the listing to align.
Right. Interesting you mentioned fresh layer of paint. Actually, one of the first things that I noticed about BilaBila Mart was that it's very new. So I mean, without revealing the location, so it was actually close to another convenience store, and the other convenience store looks like it's been there for like 30 years. Like that. Really, right? It was very.
I believe so lah. They're probably there for 30 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then in my mind, I mean, as someone that's kind of I just crossed my one, just by being new and fresh is an advantage. That's what's crossed my mind.
That's true.
But wouldn't you also encounter this same issue, I suppose, down the line?
Yeah, now we do.
Right.
So we have like dated stores, although we have been running for 6 years, but we have outlets that already like 5 years down, it look dated. So we will go in and refresh.
Right.
That is, it goes without saying. So I have a project team that not only handle new store opening, they also have to go through revamps.
Right.
Store revamps.
Right.
Yeah, so that is in our SOPs lah.
SOP, right. Okay. I love to ask you questions about how you grew up,
Okay.
your childhood. I think, obviously, I think you've shared some of these stories before, but my understanding is you started working from a very young age, right? 15 years old, something like that, for 4 ringgit an hour. Right? Can you tell us more about this story?
Okay. Long story short, my family was not financially comfortable, not at all. So my father has loans with loan sharks, etc. So not only that, there was some relationship issues. He has a mistress, blah blah blah. So it's very TVB drama lah, honestly. But because of that, I always wanted to grow up, to protect my mom. That was the thought process. So I always wanted to grow up quick. So it just struck me that during school holidays, because we got no money to travel anyway, unlike many of our friends, got no money to travel, you don't have much to do at home other than just watching TV. So I just decided I'll just go to Mid Valley and look for a job, because I do not want to ask my mom for money. Right. So that was the main thought process. So 15 years old is illegal lah. It's nobody want to hire me. Honestly, I went to almost all the stores except the prestigious one. Of course, that also another self-esteem issue. But I know that they were alright saying no because of the age. I went to mostly all independent stores and asked for a job. Nobody want to hire me. Until one store okay lor, I'll hire you at 4 ringgit. At the time, 4 ringgit is still okay. It's slightly below market price. The hourly rate back then, that was 2003. 2003 hourly rate average was around 5 ringgit. Starbucks probably paying about 8. Yeah. Or 10, around that range. So 4 ringgit is quite low, but because she also take advantage that I'm illegal technically.
And you needed the money, you wanted to work right?
I didn't really actually need the money, but I want to not ask my mom for money. And as a teenager, you want to buy things that there are wants, unnecessary ones as a teenager. So, like, I would want to have my own ability,
Right.
to be able to buy things that I want without asking.
Right. Are there things that you learned from this first job that still stay with you until now?
Don't judge people. Don't be so judgmental. Okay, it was a very funny first experience. The one that appalls me. Oh, I cannot say which store. The one, it is still there, by the way. Change location. The one that appalls me was when I asked, like, okay, I don't know whether this one you can show, but I'm just gonna tell you. What do I wear to work? Then the manager was like, you can go to the storeroom, pick what you want. And then after that, what? Wash it? Oh, just put it back. Where's the work ethics, man? But I guess that's why they hire me, because there's no work ethics, right? So,
Oh, wow.
that's one. So I was like, appalling lah. So do you mean that all the boutique that I go to, there are chances that the staff already worn them, and then it is being sold to me as new? Okay. So anyway, I don't know. I cannot say for the others, but that's from my experience. Then, what was also very, like, I find it very judgmental was the manager will instruct me, like, oh, this customer came in already. She looked like she will steal something. Can you please tell her? You're like, where the hell this come from? Right? Okay, so if I'm being tailed by the retail assistant or shop assistant, meaning you have doubts that I'll be stealing, is it? So that also changed, like, my perspective about how other retail are, but I don't know for sure if that's the modus operandi for the others. But for that store, it was like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just very judgmental lah. I hated it. I really didn't enjoy my time working there, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
But it was really an eye-opening experience.
Wow.
Is for a first job, it's just like, oh, okay, this kind of thing happens.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I suppose it's like
yeah.
it's kind of related to like
I don't
core
know if you can
values.
say it lah, but
You can think about it whether you want to keep it in or not. But I love, like, this is a fascinating story. Oh, that water's for you, by the way. If you
Oh,
want
sorry.
To. Yeah,
Oh.
if you want to, or you
Okay,
can
okay.
also drink yours.
okay, can. I'll drink that one.
So it's like
Ending.
it's like a core values thing, right? Because I say the shop owner, I don't know lah. Maybe this word is
Supervisor, she's not.
supervisor lah, right?
She's not the shop owner.
Right. Maybe this is too harsh lah, but because they lack integrity, then they therefore also think that other people will steal from them. You know, it's like sometimes it's like a self-reflection of who you are, and therefore you
I get what you
think,
mean.
yeah, then therefore you follow. You know, because they are seeing the world in this way, right?
Because they hired me also. I was not supposed to work at 15 years old.
Right.
So that goes on to show, the core values that they have.
Right. Sometimes the way you look at other people is because of how you see things about yourself. Right.
Probably.
Right. Yeah. Really. It's fascinating.
It's really ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, and that's what you learn from that experience. Right.
I don't think it learned. It's just like, oh, things work like that. Interesting.
That's how the world is now, right?
Yeah, that's how the world is.
Right. I wonder if things have changed in the retail space, but
I'm not sure because that's clothing. But okay, so go back to how retail is in BilaBila and shoplifting, right? I will say that shoplifting cases happens at least once every week in BilaBila, whether it's from staff or it's from a customer.
oh, right.
And these are the cases that we can identify.
Right. Once every week.
At least once.
Oh, right.
Identified every week.
From all your
All the stores.
branches together.
Yeah.
Not each branch, right? Like,
No, each branch I can close down already.
right.
So some can be petty crime, but you will see some that they operate like a syndicate because they steal things in outer and cartons at busy stores. Yeah,
Oh,
it happens.
right. Okay. How do they steal? Like, how do they steal a carton of something?
Okay, firstly, it is a carton of chocolates, small, probably like just a palm size, probably slightly bigger than a palm size, it's very easy to just put in a bag and leave when there's only one there's only one retail assistant in the store itself.
Right.
Yeah. So this happen usually at like street stalls where footfall is higher, and then you have less regular customers. There's a lot more one-off customers coming in. Yeah. So it happens.
Right. Right.
How do they steal? Just like that, blatantly.
Oh, yeah.
There's one that we saw. He even looked at the CCTV, and he didn't think that it's a problem. He just looked at the CCTV and put it inside his bag.
Oh.
Just like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Not first timer.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
experience.
Wow.
And so that goes on. The question is then what do my staff do? A lot of people ask me about that. So it goes back to an incident where it happened to me. I saw when I was about to enter one of the BilaBila stores, I saw one customer actually put something into his pocket. So I'm like, sir, do you put something in your pocket? He got so offended. He's trying to gaslight me. He's like, no, how could you? I feel so offended. How could you accuse me from stealing? So I got shocked. I backed off. For me, I backed off, and I'm considered like very fierce already. Then after that, when I think about it, it's like, no way my eyes was wrong. No way. He definitely took something. But because he gaslit, and then I sort of thought, and I have doubts that whether I got it wrong or not, because ultimately, if he's not wrong, he's a customer, right? So then, if my staff is to go and confront someone that steals, not everyone has the ability or the courage to do such confrontation. If they are from syndicate, God knows what, if they have any weapons with them. So they identify, and they'll immediately update the manager or our loss prevention team. But at that point in time, they just panic. They don't know how to react. So if that same thing happened to me, I can also imagine that for our staff, it's also very difficult. Yeah.
It's very hard to tackle, actually.
It's very hard to tackle. So what we can do is, make a police report.
Right. Because I can imagine if I'm the staff also, maybe I'm not equipped to deal with physical harm or whatever type of harm,
Yes,
right?
correct. But of course, there are some staff who are, they are pretty smart. They will talk to the customer and ask like, oh, sir, madam, do you forget to pay for something? So most often than not, they will admit lah. And they will just take it out and pay.
Right.
That's quite a smart way to
Right.
confront.
Right.
But not everybody dare to do that.
Right. There's just little things about running retail, I suppose.
Yeah lor.
Okay, yeah. And sorry, back to your childhood. Yeah.
Yes, come.
So you grew up, you got your first job, and your first job was kind of shady, sounds like. And that's sort of your first experience to work life, right? And how and then obviously you live with your mom, I suppose, because
Yeah, I live with my mom and my two other siblings.
oh, right. And are you like the eldest or something?
Yes, I'm the eldest. I have I have a brother who is 2 years younger, and I have a baby sister who is 11 years gap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And do you feel, do you have like extra responsibility as the eldest sibling?
Oh, definitely do with the younger one. I'm the one who go for report card day, not my mom.
Oh, wow.
That's the responsibility, lor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I take care of the baby sister lah when she's still a baby lah.
Right.
That was when I was 11, 12 years old.
Right. What was, I'm trying to imagine like how, what that must have been like growing up.
I don't know. I don't really have very vivid memories about it. But I know that I would just need to help my mom to take care, like play with her, feed her. But definitely report card day is my responsibility. Parents, teacher meet, I'm the parent and the guardian.
Yeah. Right. So you had to grow up very fast, I suppose.
Yeah, circumstances have to make me, had to push me into that position, lor.
You know, a lot of now in Gen Z, I'm generalizing here, of course, it's not true for everyone, but the Gen Z culture right now, there's a lot of debate about this whole hustle culture thing. There are just a lot of people against this idea of like working very hard and all that, and like there's almost sometimes like an employer versus employee kind of mindset that's already. But as someone who grew up, who had to work very hard at such a young age, I don't know what views you have about this.
Okay, firstly, I love working with Gen Z. Really. They are very creative, very resourceful, very straightforward, because I'm an extremely straightforward person. They will just cut the bullshit and really go straight to the point. They're not bureaucratic at all. So I love that about Gen Z. So it goes back to the hustling thing. I mean, I'm a parent myself. I have 2 boys, 3 years old and 4 years old. I would never imagine or expect them to have the same resilience, or at least built like me. Because as a parent, I wouldn't want them to go through what I went through. I'm sure for the Gen Z, same goes for them as well. Their parent has already reached a comfort that, I don't need my kids to go through this. Not because it is their attitude, but it is their parents who built them to be like that. So I agree that you don't have to hustle. That I agreed with them that there are smarter way of doing things than hustling. I'll just give you an example. So it was a task that my friend worked in HR. She has a task that she gave to a Gen Z and said that, hey, pick me 50 pieces of A4 paper. Okay? What will you typically do? You and I will go and count, right? 50 pieces.
Yeah.
You know what this fresh grad did? She went to the photocopy machine, pressed 50.
Right.
So you have actually much smarter way than, going through the same old way of doing things. So are they wrong? They're not. But certain people will be like, oh, you're so lazy, you find shortcut. But at the end of the day, I still want my 50 piece of paper, right? How you get there, I really don't want to micromanage it. So that is that different type of mindset that Gen Z bring to the table.
Right.
I still get to the same point, but do I need to hustle as hard to get to the destination? So they question about the objective and the main purpose of the task as given to them.
Right.
So they always ask that. And I really appreciate that, because otherwise for us, our generation will just take on a manager's instruction and just do it blindly without knowing exactly what is the main purpose of you doing such job. When you take that instruction blindly, firstly, you will just do it without any soul, and you will not do your best because you don't know what's the main purpose. But if, let's say, the Gen Z, they will ask, actually, why you ask me to do such a menial job? Right? So, of course, once you explain to them, I think they are able to accept. They are a bunch of very smart, resourceful workers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the whole misconception about them lazy is actually because they know how to, like just now the case that I mentioned to you, the example I mentioned to you, they just know how to find ways to work around things faster. But it's unfair to label them as being lazy.
Right. I agree. I sometimes I also find that if I give a challenging problem to a hardworking person, their answer is just work harder usually, But
Yeah, lor.
but that's not always going to solve the problem. You have to think a bit smart about it. But I suppose in the ideal case, if you do both, that's the best, right?
Oh yeah, then of course you can be the top of the chain. We do
chain, right.
still have some Gen Z that are also, challenging status quo, carrying all the very general traits of what people think about Gen Z, but at the same time they work very hard. Then they climb out the career much quicker.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. Right. And your early career, by the way, is quite diverse, right? I think you worked before you started Is BilaBila your first business?
No,
you started, right.
I was in insurance. So the boutique was the first one at 15 years old. Then every year I will work and I will find something different. So after apparels, I went into skincare, beauty. Then I even went to fast food. At this one point of time, I even went to catering, like waitering job. Wow, that one is very... You also see the true colors of certain people. Quite degrading to a certain extent. I'm like, I'm going to quit. It's so degrading. Then, of course, I was also tutoring. because my results quite good. So I was tutoring primary school students, Malay and English, Malay and Mandarin, right? Those who are going to go for UPSR. I did that while I was studying actually in uni. At the same time, I was also in Red Bull. Okay, so there is Red Bull used to have this female driver search, which I joined. And subsequent to that, yes, I didn't win, but I was enrolled by the instructor to be a junior instructor. So I will go for defensive training class training, advanced driving class training, even race driving class training with them. I will be there lah. So that's my, sort of like full-time, part-time job while studying, being a tutor, and then in the motorsports industry. It's very
random.
Yeah, very random, but I like it because for me, it's just, I want to try on different things, and because I know that one day I'm going to land myself in a permanent job. And these are the industry that I know that I will never get in. Definitely. No, not media, not motorsports. And after I graduated, before going to tobacco, I was in radio, right? I was the Mix FM Roadrunners for about 10 months. So that was also very interesting insights to how media works, how the entertainment industry is like.
Did you say road runners?
Roadrunners.
What are road runners?
Like, radio station used to have this marketing arm that it's like a bunch of people taking a car, the company radio station branded car, and go around giving out freebies. And the freebies are usually from the advertiser. For example, the Sun newspaper, who is already non-existent. Is it still existing? I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Yeah, the Sun newspaper. Then you have like bread company or movie tickets. Or at this point in time, there was also a fire extinguisher company. So they'll come to us, these are the samples and we want to distribute it. We get the roadrunners to distribute it. So you have it for like multiple language radio station. You have it in My FM, Era, Mix FM, Hits FM. It was like, in 2010, it was quite a hit thing lah. Yeah, so I heard the recruitment on radio. I'm like, okay, maybe I should join because I know that I will not be doing this later on once I start a permanent job.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm always very exploratory. Like, I don't know where that comes from, but I just want to try lor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then after that, went to tobacco. I was in tobacco for 6 years.
6 years.
That also because I left because knowing that the career path is like quite within expectation, because in that company itself, female is probably less than 10% of the entire population. And when that company want to drive diversity, certain priorities will be given to female. So I know exactly where I'm good at, and I know where they will sort of like place me. If I were looking for stability, I would definitely stay because the pay was great. I started off as a management trainee, and the promotion is on a yearly basis, right? And then, but I sort of got exposed into insurance industry because I wanted to buy an insurance, I want to buy a medical card. Then of course agents will come and ask you, oh, do you want to join my training? Little did I know that it's actually a trap, right? To recruit me into the agency. But of course, I've always been open-minded, right? Since, and I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I'll just have a look. So the first training that I attended was about mortgage reducing term loan, term assurance. So MLTA are the insurance that you need to buy when you apply for a loan with the bank, right? I think homeowners that already homeowners, you will know. The bank will ask you to buy MLTA. At that point in time, I already bought my house, but I don't know what I bought. What is MLTA? So that first training itself, like, whoa, is an eye-opener for me. So what crossed my mind then was, how come such personal financial knowledge is not shared widely, right? Why are people not sharing this? It's such a useful information. So because of that, I sort of got sucked in, like, oh, so what's your next training? I want to come, man. I want to learn there. So Then the rest is history. Every week I go for the training. And then every week is a deeper step into the track, right? Where, Jing, go for exam, be an agent. Then from going for exams, being an agent, to selling insurance plans to myself. Then from there to like, oh, you do part-time, why don't you do full-time? Go find your friends, go find your colleagues. I'm like, oh, okay. So it was a lot more like, I'll just go with the flow without thinking much. So that's how I ended up
Oh, wow.
in insurance. So then BilaBila sort of like came, I think is also the right timing, because I sort of helped a friend. Okay, why BilaBila is because when I was back in tobacco, I know you're going to go to that really. When I was back in tobacco, there is these customers that open convenience store in condominiums. So like the name that you mentioned before recording earlier was one of it. But this was another brand that inspired me like, oh, you can actually do that. But the idea wasn't shared. I didn't implement the idea, but I shared the idea with a friend, which eventually also opened convenience store in condos. He's now my competitor. Yeah, but my partners and I started another brand with another bunch of partners that it didn't work out because of shareholder dispute, because they were extremely sexist about, me being female. And that's how...
Could you tell us more about that? Yeah.
So, okay, the first one with my friend, actually, nothing, because, I asked for a share, he didn't want to give me. So then the second one was me and my current husband and his friends, right? I was running some of the operations of the business, and they'll be like, oh, Jing, I'll give you a share when the business gets better, right? Of course, that didn't happen. So when you start to see certain results, I went to them and was like, so where's my share? They're like, you just ask your husband to feed you lah. Why you want to be a part of this? So when that was being told, at like split second, I thought, I believe them, I'm like, yeah, maybe. Because of my background, I still suffer with a little bit of self-esteem issue then. And split second, I thought, yeah, maybe that's believable. Maybe I should do it. But, I woke up. Said, what? I was in an industry that is full of male-dominated tobacco. Nobody has ever discriminated me for who I am. For me being female. Nobody has said that at all. It was such a inclusive place where regardless of what culture, what gender you are, you are being embraced lah. Your diversity is being appreciated. But with these two idiots, with these two fella, I'm like, you had the audacity to actually say to someone's face. Yeah, but okay, fine. So we quit.
You didn't react immediately.
That's why I said in split second, I was like thinking, probably what they say is true, because of my childhood, because of whatever. Maybe I should just choose a more chill life and get my husband to feed me lah. But that time wasn't husband yet. That was like, he used his name, my current husband. Yeah. Ask this to feed you. Like, what the heck? How could you say that?
Wow.
Yeah, I almost want to turn table, because it was in a bar. So it's like, okay, chill, cannot get into a bar fight. Yeah, it was that very appalling.
Oh wow.
To be hearing that.
And then you split up after that.
We split up, of course, immediately. Like, there's no point, right? In the workforce, 50% of workforce are female. How are you going to survive with this kind of mindset? So does that mean that if you don't give me a chance, whoever that works for you, if they are female, they won't stand a chance to get promotion? How could I work in such or continue in such a setting? Right? It's not acceptable to me. So then we split up, and then of course, blessing in disguise, we also found our other partner, which is Param. Now three of us has different strengths that we work well together. So it's me, my husband, and also Param. And we also managed to get a shareholder, which is Axim Development, in our team.
Right, and that is the BilaBila Mart.
Yes, that's the BilaBila Mart today.
Right. Oh wow, that's
Very dramatic, right?
a lot of drama.
But it is like that, lor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Building something, I suppose, well, I mean, I also really respect you. I mean, if you had such a good career growing in the tobacco company, and then you took this big step to come out doing insurance, and you never seem to turn back though. You never went back to like a full-time job. You just kept going, starting new things and being dependent.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why that you didn't at some point you think actually I just go back get a job?
Wow. Okay. Because a lot of thinking went through prior to leaving tobacco, to leaving a full-time job. It was almost 5-figure lah. The gap was like 25 ringgit to 5-figure. So I was already struggling for a while, like trying to justify why do I want to make the move. So firstly, I look back at my career history. It has always been so interesting, right? And it was very funny what went through my mind when I decided, okay lah, I will leave. Was, if I were to write a book, a biography about myself, everything will just stop at, okay lah, Jing continue to climb career ladder. Nothing interesting happens. So if I'm a grandmother, I have to tell the story to my grandkids. That's it. That's it. It just stopped there. Nothing, no stories continue after that. So I thought, I want to create a story for myself, whether it's for my next generation or whatsoever, but I just want to do something interesting. Because since 15 years old, it has always been like, whoa, colorful, different industry, fun, although maybe some I didn't flourish, but it's still fun. So hence, I take a step to be in insurance. And to me, that point in time, what was behind my mind was two things. Firstly, how much savings do I have or cash flow do I have to survive, to pay through my current commitments, my housing loan and my car loan, and my basic daily needs. So okay, I have about good to 6 months and 9 months. Okay, so that gives me comfort a bit. But of course, when it started depleting, then you become like, when it started depleting, then it become anxious. Yeah. So, secondly is, okay, so even if I step out and I couldn't get the same result that I want, right? I believe that my survival instinct will push me through, because it's such a tough childhood, right? We have gone through the worst, and I think that I will be able to have the resilience to push through, to get to where I want to be. So I believe in this too lah. Yeah, right. I have the cash flow. I'm sure that I have the cash flow, and I believed in my own survival instinct.
Right.
Yeah. So that's sort of like, okay, a lot of self-talking at the background, like, oh, Jing, you can do it. You can do it. Right. And of course, the worst is, so what if I cannot survive? If I try all means and I cannot survive? Like, I'm still in my 20s. I'm not stupid, right? If really the worst case scenario, what is the worst? Go back to corporate law. And it's not even a life and death issues. So to me, it's like, if it doesn't involve life and death, and your issue can be solved with money, is not a huge issues.
Right.
Yeah. So that was why I decided, okay lah, quit lah. So then there's always a quote that I kept telling myself, and I even wrote it and print it out. It was a quote by Theodore Roosevelt that says that, for those who fight for it, life has a flavor the sheltered will never know. So it was like, okay, I will go for it lah. Because the sheltered will never know what kind of interesting thing I will be doing outside ma. Only I will have it. Yeah, so that is a lot of like, self-talking. Yeah, happen right here.
Sounds like an
yeah.
You also see it as an adventure, lah, right?
Yeah, I definitely see it as adventure. Yeah, under that, the quote that I printed out, the graphic that goes with it was someone on a ski mountain thinking whether he should ski down. That was the graphic. I actually never tell people about this.
And I'm trying to relate that again to your childhood, because clearly when you were young, you had to be like, well, sort of like a second mom or elder sister to family, and financially, it wasn't that of an easy ride. If I can look at this from a different way, wouldn't you naturally seek safety because it was so not safe in a way when you were young, right? Then wouldn't you naturally feel, I want something safe, stable, and so on? But you seem to have gone down an adventurous path.
Yeah, very interesting. How would I say it? Because at this certain point in time, I find that like although I don't say it all the time, but you see, the story that I have will one day be able to inspire other people. So I just didn't just want to stop there at I end a corporate and continue to climb corporate ladder. Then I become like, HOD lah, GM. It's boring lah. Already it sets the tone how my family background is, and then the work that I continue on is sort of like set the tone on the person that I want to be. So being in corporate sort of like, oh, am I in comfort zone? Am I, not learning anymore? So that was, I guess, the main reason why I don't seek a safe space, but rather maybe I can do more. Maybe I can go all out and do something else again.
Right.
It become very boring.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if it's because you grew up in such a way that you're so used to uncertainty that you kind of live very well with it, like that uncertainty.
Because nothing, so the cliche word that always people say is the only thing that is constant is change. Right? Everything will always be changing. So you just have to ensure that you don't be complacent and you flow with the change.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just curious. I think I skipped through this. I wanted to ask you earlier, but because your mom basically raised you as a single parent, when you watched how she kind of managed the whole family, is there anything that you learned from that?
Okay. As a teenager, when growing up, I would always blame her. Like, why do you marry my dad? Why? Yeah. Really. Like, if you marry someone else, we wouldn't be in such ditch, right? Really, it's quite bad for me to say that. But then, of course, we will be like, how come you don't bring us out to eat at kopitiam? We couldn't even afford kopitiam, right? How come I don't get to fly, blah, blah, blah? Because you'll compare. As a child, it's just natural to compare. But now that I grew up, and as a mother myself, I realized, wow, what she's been doing, she's already done really her best. So I even blame her. There's this one occasion where I sprained my ankle in school after a run. Then I said that, oh, can you come and fetch me? I cannot, I'm too busy. You go and find a way to go back yourself. Because I take public schools to work. I take public bus to school, right? I don't even take the school bus because it's more expensive. So I take the 50 cents Rapid KL. One trip, every day just RM1, 50 cents per trip. So you just find a way to go back. So that incident, wow, I was really, really sad. Like, oh, you want to wait until I die, only you will come and care about me, is it? So that was what went through my mind. And even until now, like my ankle is still not fully recovered. It's just like loose.
Oh,
but
even until now?
Even until now. Like I will walk and then just like that. But I'm fine because it's just loose.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't really recover well. My mom didn't send me to a tita or whatsoever. Yeah, to her, I think she's just too busy to keep the household running, that she just couldn't spare any of her time. Wow. And probably I've always been very independent, and she probably like, okay lah, you can manage it yourself. But I believe at that point in time, there's just too many things that goes on to her mind. Like mother has always this invisible pressure that other cannot see. What to feed the kids, what to cook for dinner. She's also still cooking for dinner, by the way, having a full-time job. When to buy grocery, what to buy, what's the menu, blah, blah, blah. And then what to do for the kids. So I think at that point, when something ad hoc like that happened, she just couldn't react. Yeah. So I don't blame her, but that really builds my resilience. Yeah. But so now that I'm a mother myself, because I went through that and I felt, and not empty, I felt that it's hard to accept as a child. Yeah. So at a certain point in time, you question whether your mother loves you or not. I do that. But now I see it as, okay, her love is a different way. Boomers shows their love differently.
Right.
So now with my kids, I will spend a lot more time with them. Right? I talk to them about the emotions more. Yeah, so that's why I say I will never expect them to build the same way as I am, because I want them to feel that they are being protected, they are safe, because that's what I lacked of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Wow. It sounds like you had a very how do I put it? Your relationship with your mom was. How would you describe it?
It's self-sustaining.
Self-sustaining.
Yeah, I know I cannot ask too much from her because it was tough, right? I even saw her fighting with the mistress at our house. Yeah, it's really TVB drama. Then at one point in time, she even wanted to jump down from the building. But me and my brother were still very young, so she hold back because, I have my kids to take care of. So we are always at the back of our mind, like it's her biggest responsibility. It's just that her way of showing affection and love is different. That's boomer parents, and boomer Asian parents are like that. They will care whether you eat already or not, whether you go to tuition or not, got money for tuition or not, that kind of thing.
Right.
But that's just how they are.
Right. I think they show you love by providing food.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't blame her lah.
Okay. Oh, that really sounds like a TVB drama.
Very lah. So yeah, I sometimes when I talk about it, I'm like, really? That happens to me, man. It's crazy.
Oh.
It's crazy.
It makes me feel like too bad this is a career podcast. I'd love to dig into them.
Yeah.
happened?
But I mean, because of this background, the career mindset is shaped very differently,
Right. Right. I'm so fascinated. I mean, I actually, like I mentioned earlier, I think a lot of how you would grow up would affect how you see the world and how the mindset, your personality, your behavior today.
But I guess there's always two way lah. It's either I can choose to, I just accept that, no, this is my fate, or I choose to be different. So I guess so my mom made a very good decision by sending me to good schools. So I can see the disparity, although that disparity give me self-esteem issues because my friends are all very rich, but because they have better life, much quality life, I know that, there is actually possibility for me to achieve that as well. So then that is a very good decision. If she were to send me to another school where, the same group of people mingle together, probably I don't see that, I will probably just expect that, I have to, this is fated lah. I have to accept that this is my fate. But because I saw the disparity, I saw the possibilities, right? From primary school to high school, it was all, prestigious, famous schools. Yeah, so that is why personally, although I never think that she sent me to this school on purpose, but because of such exposure, I know that the sky is actually the limit. I can actually push myself to achieve the same. I cannot expect that my father will change. No way. The only thing that I can do is do it myself. Like Jack Ma always say, if after 40 you are still poor, you can only blame yourself. Right? So I always remember that as well. So yeah, my fate is in my own hands.
Right.
I can change it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when as we were chatting, I heard you mention self-esteem issues associated when you're younger.
A few times.
Well, two questions related to that. Like, do you still have it, and how do you change that?
I think that disappears as slowly after my father passed away. Because it's always been like the problem at home. Like we'll be like, okay, what do you want again? He'll come and say that, I need money from you. I just borrow money from someone else. Even until the end,
Wow.
right? then even after he passed, there will still be people saying that, oh, your father owed me money. Yeah. So the self-esteem issue actually comes from, being in schools where everybody are well off. They have, even though they are now not well off, they have a happy family lah. Simple but happy family. So I always compare, right? That's why I felt like, I am so much smaller. Hence, maybe when I went on to look for a job in a mall, I will subconsciously avoid brands that are bigger because I feel that, I don't fit in, right? So I go to like smaller independent brands. So then, that started to wear off when he's gone. Yeah, so now I'm really fully living and being who I am.
Right. That was the moment.
It didn't really have like a moment that, I changed all of a sudden, but it's progressive.
I see.
Yeah, until I realize it's gone, and I know that, I think I've healed from that childhood trauma.
Right. Like a baggage that...
It's definitely a baggage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if someone who is listening to this podcast now and maybe they felt that like the world is somewhat against them or stacked against them, they also have so many challenges that maybe a lot of their peers don't have, but everyone wants to have a good life, a successful life, what would you say to them?
Okay. A fellow entrepreneur told me that all successful people somewhat has a certain trauma. They are most of the time traumatic kids. That's just how it works. Right, because of that experience, it pushed you and you are built in a different way. So I always looked at, being in such a low benchmark to start off is actually a blessing in disguise because you have no comparison, no expectation. Every step you take is actually an improvement versus someone who probably has like a better starting line. Parents will give them a lot of expectation. I'm talking about probably second generation reach. It's not easy for them to match what the parents has achieved. But for us who started off with nothing, honestly, that's the best place to be. Because every step you take, you get recognized. That is an extra step. It is an improvement. So that's how I see it. So, yeah, and that's what I want to tell those who are, not in a very favorable situation, that is actually, a good space to be because a little bit of effort will give you huge results.
Wow.
It started off so low, right? There's no benchmarking.
Right. No, and because sometimes I guess everyone's starting point is different, right? So there's also some people I feel like there's a feeling of like, let's say fair, unfair and all that, but that's just how it is, I suppose.
It's never fair, ma, for me. Just look at us, like, biologically. Male and female is already not fair. Why do I need to go through 9 months of pregnancy? Why do I need to go through menstruation every month and men don't need to go through? It's already shaped. The unfairness is already there. It's never equal. And because of that, right, you had different strengths. That's how you make use of each other's strengths and, become a tag team and become better. So the unfairness is also good lah, in a way, so that you can showcase, your strengths.
Right. I'm go back to BilaBila Mart.
Okay.
I love this. I didn't expect to spend so long on this conversation.
That's why.
But all that, I'll dig so much deeper into it.
You can have coffee up.
BilaBila Mart. So so my understanding is when you first open, immediately MCO hit. Immediately, right? Like 2 days or something like that. Well, it's like such terrible timing, isn't it?
So you see, right? Like, again, I would go back to my childhood. Then I was thinking, am I not fated? Like the God is telling me not to do business. I'm not meant for this. Yeah, but again, survival instinct. For me is, if I've already been through insurance, you're selling a piece of paper. If you have sold insurance, you can sell anything. So that's also my mindset. So it's the same thing like survival instinct. I can push it through. If I try all out, if I fail, then okay lah. Then I only have myself to blame on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
What
the
do you
same
do?
mindset.
Like, what do you do?
Okay. Where it's very funny. A lot of people have heard this. 18th of March, I was at my store. Everyone was looking for sanitizer, face masks, and I was like, hey, my shelf has so many. Why y'all never, it's such a waste that you guys don't know about it. I posted it on Instagram, boosted it, and direct message started coming in. Like, oh, can you send it to my house? Blah, 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 blah. So the concept of BilaBila was fine-tuned because of that as well. Because at first, we really never wanted to sell grocery. So the grocery assortment is actually pivoted, right? So while we were doing that fulfillment of customers asking us for face mask, sanitizer, a lot of them actually asked, what else do you sell? Can you show me your shelves? So I'll take picture one by one of each shelves and show them, even I have even secrets as well. Yeah, so, but a lot of them, being female, they will ask, do you have any fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, or ketchup or grocery? And that was because of that fulfillment, when there was a short lived of lockdown in June, we changed our concept in Subang Jaya store to become Kedai Rajit Modern.
Right.
Yeah. So again, it's more like survival instinct. What do I do now? What can I do next to fine tune it? It's a lot more like I will solve the problem that I currently have before really thinking or overthinking too much. Yeah. So yeah, always been like my way of working, and it's sort of work.
Right.
Fortunately.
Right.
Yeah. But because three of us, we already put money on the table and say that, okay, 500,000 is a startup capital. 1/3 of it is whatever that we contributed. Are we willing to lose it all and really like go into casino and, sailang and just all in, right? If you're willing to lose this, then okay, fine. But once we put it in, we must work all out. So yeah, thank God it worked out for us.
And the grocery idea was like you adapted to the market,
Yeah, it's really, I always say this, I'm very grateful to my customers that, asked me for extra groceries while they were buying face masks and sanitizers.
Right.
That's why we pivoted and changed the concept.
Right. And your first store was it Subang Jaya?
The first store that adopted this idea was Subang Jaya,
Subang
SS12, opposite SJMC.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, which was your first store, like number one store ever?
Number one store is the Montcara.
The Montcara one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Montcara one. The
Right.
one that became an inconvenience store. Yeah. Because when we opened, we were considering that, okay, there's an office building, that there's an office entrance right next to it. But when lockdown, there's no footfall. And everybody who drives to the mall will drive straight to the grocer at lower ground. They will not go up. That's why we became an inconvenience store.
Right.
So we were really mainly surviving on running, on fulfillment, on sanitizers and hand mask, and face mask.
Right. Right. Interesting. And touch on how you mentioned just now, obviously you stock a lot of local brands and like supporting local brands and all that. I'm not sure this is accurate, but there's fees to charge. Normally. Listing fees.
Okay.
That's a common part of the model.
Yes. If you follow my IG, you'll know that I recently made a statement about that. Okay, listing fee is essential for chain retailers because by listing in one item, to you is probably just one, but it really takes up the whole company, right? Purchasing department. For me, honestly, personally, the hardest is looking for a space.
Right.
Because the shelves are already so fully stocked. How do I find a space for me to just slot you in? I have to kick someone out. So to me, that's actually the most challenging part. Once you pass through that, then orders, warehouse, operations, sales, marketing, everyone gets involved. So that's why the thought of listing in an item to the supplier, it may be like, yeah, just list your name, just sell lah. But to us, it's not. It actually goes through a long process. So, but for smaller suppliers, they are not able to afford that because listing fee goes around like 80 to 100 ringgit now per SKUs, right? So as long as your barcode is different, it's considered as one SKU. So even though you have one SKU, 100 ringgit, right, for one store, time 100 BilaBila stores. That's your initial investment. And we have like all the bigger boys who with 2,000 stores. How are you able to pay that? Right. So at the beginning, it was more like, it's okay lah, we were also nobody, we don't charge. By having all these smaller brands on board, it's also a win-win situation from us. Then that's our differentiation. So now that we are at 130 outlet scale, I will still waive it for those who deserves it actually. Because over the years, we also seen that there are suppliers who appreciate this gesture, and they will really divert the cash flow that they were parking for listing fee to marketing effort. But there were also suppliers who just put in zero effort and expect the item to sell once they're on shelves. You also have some of them who are very spoiled like that. So yeah, we will look at the founder's effort, right? And how much they are able to commit in terms of marketing effort before we decide whether they want to waive off a listing fee or not.
Right. Got it, right. And I suppose most of these are still local brands lah.
Most of these, yes, still small local brands.
Small local brands lah, right. And do you think Malaysians still trust or still put foreign brands higher than local brands?
Oh, I think it has shifted. I mean, again, the Gen Z is the woke generation, right? They are so mindful that actually Malaysians' goods are much better. Right nowadays, you see item that's made in another country with higher amount of insecticide, etc., which is not good. Yeah, so I think the Gen Z are also a different group of consumers that behaves very differently. They are non-conformists. They want to do things that, okay, if everybody asks me to do AI, use AI for my work, I will find a way not to use AI. Example. So even when it comes to consumer goods as well, everybody has been buying Nestle. Is there any other alternative other than Nestle? So that's why I think Zeus go into a very good spot now in the canned coffee, because this younger group of consumers are just so bored with the monopoly. They want new, more refreshing brands. So actually it has been working out quite good for us, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the younger consumer will know that, hey, we stock up on these newer brands, less mainstream brands.
Right. Right. So what used to be like, let's say local brands is perceived as lower quality or lower value because it's changing. Now it's become more of a strength that you are listing.
Yeah, it became artisanal, it became cooler. Yeah, we have a few suppliers which are quite cool. Like I have this pizza supplier called Phil's Pizza. Their brand effort is really, really cool. So it doesn't, it's no longer the old time where local brands are always the biscuit with the red color cover, without much branding. But now there's a lot more branding effort. Yeah.
Right.
And people appreciate that.
Right. Okay. And how big's your team now, by the way?
Close to 600.
600?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because we have 130 stores. So it's about 3 to 4 head counts for stores. And then in HQ, we have 100.
Right.
Yeah. And we have 60 at the warehouse. It's around that.
How do you learn to manage such a large organization?
How to manage is don't manage. Delegate it to people who are good at managing their own people. So I have to thank my team, especially, my operations team. I have staff who has worked with me since 2020. They are like area managers now. Some of them promoted to HQ, right? These are my OG founding team. So it's a lot of trust and delegation given to them to, lead the team. But what needs to be aligned is really the core values. How we behave, the culture, the fact that we need to encourage our team to speak up, right? We need to be open-minded as a manager to listen to their feedback, right? So that core values, I think, is the main thing, or rather is my main role currently. I have to make sure that everybody is aligned. In terms of managing, is really, I need to delegate. I only have 24 hours a day. I cannot manage everybody.
Right. Still very impressive though. And I mean it in a way where, even as a business, we scale and all that. And what I learned is sometimes even with the best intention, if you haven't managed such a big team before, it's still like a skill or a knowledge thing like that. Like sometimes it has to be run differently.
Okay, so then I would say that my experience in tobacco really built me because I was in sales team, I was in trade team. So at one point in time, I have to manage like 30 executives and then a bunch of salesmen under distributor. That's probably about 200 headcounts. Yeah. So it's really a lot of delegation. That's why you put in managers, district managers, area managers. You need the team to help you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But of course, okay, for me, what I will still pay a lot of attention to are customers' feedback. So I'm in this ops complaint WhatsApp group. Then I'll see what type of complaints come in on a daily basis. What are the Google reviews? Because to me, it's like we will not be here if it's not because of our customers. So I still takes care of that and knows. I would want to know how are my team managing it. Some of them will be like, oh, I told customer cannot refund. I'm like, just refund lah. Yes, we do have a policy, but if product freshness is our fault, right? By all means, refund. It doesn't hurt, right? So I still so I will focus on the agenda or the work that matters. Yeah, but in terms of like the more smaller issues, daily managing of team, I delegate to my trustworthy team lead.
Okay.
Managers.
I have 3 last questions for you.
I know.
I love your stories, but
Thank you.
So you recently, you won, right? I think EY Entrepreneur of the Year, Women 2023. And then you made EY Entrepreneur Winning Women Asia Pacific 2025. So when you get this type of award, do you see this as validation or do you get more pressure? No?
Both. So the split second when the award was announced that I won, wow, it's like I have like a rewind of what actually happened in my life. Although it's just a small journey from the table to the stage, there was a rewind of like, oh my God, what I've been through, people recognize that. Right? I teared. Right? I actually cried. But so after that glitz and glamour of winning the award that night, I came back home like, I still need to be a mother, firstly. And of course, then the pressure and expectation is different. Because then people will look at you like, okay, so what's so amazing about you being, the EY entrepreneur? So I have to do better because of such recognition. So it actually pushed me. The pressure is a good one because it actually pushed me to like, how can I do better to prove that I really deserve this? Yeah, so it's both. It's a mix of both.
Right. The question that's not on the list actually, because you did mention about being a mom a few times today. And even me, actually, for some reason, I was also kind of tempted as, what's it like to run the business and being a mom and all that? But I was just thinking about this. But no one ever asked me about being a dad and running a business. So
oh yeah,
yeah. No one ever asked me like, what's it like being a father and running a business? I just wonder. But you also naturally bring it up. Like, is this something that's ingrained? Like, how do you see this? Like, you are, obviously there are Do you think there are expectations, or these are expectations on yourself is what you want? How do you juggle these two worlds and what people expect you to be?
Okay, as a mother, I think they have much more expectation and more comments about how you should behave as a mother. But my pushback is always, I'm the mother. I think we have better instinct on what's good for the kids. Not like I birthed this child to kill them, right? I definitely want to give them the best. So I think the mothers out there, just always believe in your instinct that you always want the best for your kids. So that society will definitely have expectations, like how you should behave. And even some people don't expect me to spend so much time with my kids, honestly. But I will make an effort, like, the reasons of that I mentioned earlier. I'll make an effort. And how do I do that is, I wouldn't say that it's simple. It's a bit challenging for some, especially with running a business and the business run 24/7. So if I'm at work, 100% of my time is work. So my team will ask me, they ask me this question during a Mother's Day gig. They're like, oh, do you think about your kids when at work? I'm like, no, not at all. If I'm at work, I switch off the mother role. I'm 100% running BilaBila. Nothing else. But when I'm a mother, when I pick them up at 7 p.m., I will switch off my role in BilaBila. I'm 100% being a mother. So from 7 to 11 until they sleep, my time is 100% with them. So I guess that works for me is because then you get more quality time. If not, then my kids will feel very uneasy that, they will know that you are not fully paying attention to them. And then they will thirst more attention, which is bad. So, because we all did mistake where we check our phones while being with our kids. And that is not very healthy. So I learned to switch off. I'll tell suppliers and whoever that say, if you want anything from me between 7 and 11, sorry, I will reply you after. Yeah. So if I'm a mother, I'm 100% being a mother. And so far that works for me.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess what sacrifice is time for myself.
Right.
That
so
I'm still working on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In this whole thing, there's no your time for you.
Yeah, no time for myself. Friends get sacrificed, right? Social life gets sacrificed. It's just work and family.
Right.
But I will find pocketed, slots to put myself in. Yeah. Like, say, sometimes I know that I really cannot tahan anymore. I'll just ask my helper or ask my husband, okay, today it's a bad day at work. I really need time off. You guys go and take care of your kids. Tell them, I won't be home. So I go for my workout. I go for massages. I go for sound bath, whatever it is that my body will need for the time to cool down and realign.
Right. Do you have a social life? Do you see friends and
I do, but okay, I am also very grateful that my friends are all very low maintenance. They know what kind of life I'm running here, and these are the friends that even though you don't see each other every quarter, you know that once you have problem, you go to them, they'll still be there. So I'm grateful for friends who are also matured, that can understand what I'm going through. Yeah. So, yes. Although I don't have huge friends that I hang out and drink together, not that, but more, quality time, smaller groups. Yeah.
Last question. So, you started at 15, 4 ringgit an hour. Clearly a very interesting workplace then. And obviously as a woman, you're asked to ask your husband to feed you. You went through that. You started BilaBila. Then after that, it was a lockdown. So you went through all these things. So what, based on your experience and where you are now, what do you want a young Malaysian to know about, I don't know, building a career here or building a life in Malaysia?
Honestly, building a life in Malaysia is actually it's easier because I think everybody is just so nice and supportive, and they're less judgmental for some reason. Of course, maybe I'm lucky to be in a group of people that don't really judge me, but probably they do, but already gone past that. So you see that self-talk that I keep giving myself when I was leaving a stable job to something that is so uncertain. I guess at the end of the day, you need to know that you are able to push yourself a lot more, right? I think for females specifically, actually, I have to say this, whether you are a mom or you're not, always remember that you have this innate capability of growing a human being in you. So a lot of gender discrimination against female is really very unfair, because honestly, if female are to rise together, I think they can they can fight the world much better, right? Because we are so strong, right? Men cannot grow a human being, female can, right? And I think a general comment for everyone is believe in your own survival instinct, right? As long as you're thirsty and you want it enough, you'll be able to find your ways.
Maybe. That's a great way to end this episode. All right. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Jing,
Thank you
for
so
sharing
much.
your story and being so honest with everything that's happened.
Oh, no, man.
Yeah. We definitely went through some areas that I found, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. So I guess that's also, I start to see that coming through when, I totally forgot that, hey, actually I felt, small,
Right.
right? Like, especially in a room with other entrepreneurs, I used to feel like, okay, I better not speak so much.
Right.
Better not speak money mind. But the recent one that I went, I asked very pointed question. They were all like, oh my God, I appreciate your question. I mean, thank God you asked that. So I also didn't know where that courage came from. I guess it's just after all this that happened, I know that I just need to fully embrace who I really am. Yeah.
I can see it.
So no,
I can see the fire. Awesome, man. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to the end of the episode. If you like this, follow us or hit the subscribe button. It will help us bring on more amazing guests and makes the whole show better for you. So thanks again and see you in the next one.